Okay, you have to turn it on. And as it turns on, it makes its little Cricut sounds. And it also, this bar rolls. So you have to wait to load the mats. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make you dizzy, but over here is where the mats are. And I am just going to pull one out. And this one, the purple ones are strong grip. Now some of them, I think this one may be one that has lost some of its grip. But I am going to pull this out. It's tacky, it's got to stay tacky, so this plastic piece must be kept on there. And notice that there's a little cut at the top and a cut at the top of there. I kind of treat that like an arrow to point which way goes into the machine. So let me pull a piece of paper out. The paper is stored underneath here. And let's see, wildcats we need. Probably something yellow. There we go. Okay, so I am going to take this and put it on my mat. And there's only the part in the middle is tacky or sticky to hold it. And you've got to push it down well. Now, I'm having to hold my camera with one hand, so I can't push it as well as I would like to. But you need a flat surface to do that. Okay, you're going to approach the machine and you want to make sure that you line it up with this side right here, because this side must be flat. There is a little groove right there that you want to feed it into. And when you push it, you want to push it right up against this bar. Okay? And you don't want to put your fingers under here because or have jewelry or something that could get caught underneath there, because then it's going to pull it through the machine and it's not going to feel good. Up here there are controls, and right here there's the one that says load paper, and this one says unload. All you have to do is hit load. Okay, and what happened is it brought it in, and it's got, this is where the blade is, and it's put it right in the corner. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, none of this is what we're using. You can use those and cut things out that way. I've got some other letters too, but we're not going to use the manual controls. We've got it on the making it with the digital. So right here there is a speed control. That is something you do need to pay attention to. We usually just make it go wide open. This is pressure. The pressure gauge is right here. Here's your speed. We've got it on top speed. The pressure is right in the middle. That is how far down the knife is going to cut. And for regular cardstock like this, at 3 is pretty good. If you push it too far and get it on 4, if I do it up 1, I've just turned this, brought it up, and you can see it went up 1 and it will go up to another one. That's for cutting like poster board and things like that. If you put it on that when you are cutting thinner paper, it will tear. So it works better. Sometimes you just have to play with it and see how much pressure and how much speed, because if you don't put enough pressure, then it won't cut all the way through. Okay, we're going back over here, and usually somebody is working at the computer while somebody else is handling the paper. But remember, I told you I just needed to hit one more time, okay? So I hit okay, and it tells me that it is cutting with the cutter. And this is what's happening up here. And I want you to notice that you have to be able to pull this. I've got the magnets that are here for a reason. They're so that that paper it'll slide it up instead of stopping it. And it cuts. And you see it's got that the USB is active. And you're seeing that it's just cutting the wildcats for you. And it'll cut that nation. Also, see how it's just starting wherever it wants to? Don't worry about that. I don't know why it does that, but it just randomly goes in whatever order it wants to go in. Don't be concerned about the order. See, it hasn't cut at the top yet, and it went down and did that T. I can't tell you why it does that. It's just sort of random. While we're waiting on this to finish up, I will tell you that the bulletin boards and throughout the school are kind of our baby, and that's been our responsibility and something that we take a lot of pride in, putting positive messages out there for the student body, and we want to continue to do that. Normally, our very first challenge is to do something with the faithful, loyal, firm, and true, and that is our motto. That is, you guys that are seniors, I know that the alma mater means a lot to you. But if we're singing that we're faithful, loyal, firm, and true, then we need to work on those traits and displaying those traits. So that is what he has in the past wanted for our very first board. So you can be thinking about what you might want to do and which board you might want to tackle. Okay, over here it's going to say that cutting is complete, and we can hit OK. And I'm just going to get the mouse and hit OK. And if you were going to do a shadow behind it and like cut with a different color, you could leave this up and cut again. Now I have done one in lowercase and one in capital, but remember what we have to do now. You cannot just pull this out. You have to hit unload right here. So you're going to hit unload, and it just spits it out for you. And then somebody will need to be removing these, and then whatever the next word is, the person that's operating the computer just keeps doing the software. And we have plenty of these mats, and you can just have somebody else feeding the mat in, somebody else is taking the letters off, but we do that to be as efficient as we can, so that with the 8 boards that are throughout the school that we do, we want to be good stewards of our time, because this is kind of like icing on the cake, something that we get to do. And this didn't cut all the way through. In some places, for the most part, it did. And so I took off the negative paper that we didn't want, and then the rest of it is pretty easy to pull off. And we always put these in the recycle bin. And so the rest of that's ready to pull off, but the next you could be putting in your next letters here, and somebody could be putting the paper on for the next one and feeding it through. But I want to encourage you that making things 3D looks pretty neat, just like that outline on Nation, and makes that pop out. And that is how I did the bulletin board that you see that's up here that says "Get your head in the game." If you'll look, I just did, after I cut it out in yellow, I cut it out in red, and I just stacked them behind each other so that it gave a 3D effect. So that's a great idea when you're, cut them out in one color, cut them out in another color, especially if you want to emphasize one word. I did all of it that way, but don't change it while you've got it there. Go ahead and cut out the next color, and then and not move your letters. That's about it for the Cricut. And just make sure that you don't put your fingers where it shouldn't be. If you forget any of this, there is instructions right here, and I have provided them for you, and you have them on your desk. And this is our Cricut area.